You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I am Caden. This is G Day. This is G Block. And, crazy times in the United States of America, but I got to give a shout out to President Trump, who took it like a G. I'm here with my co-host.
You already know who it is. It's a commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill, LLG. For life, you already know.
Yeah, so jumping right in, should Terence Crawford be worried seeing Boots Ennis retire Avanesian in the fifth? So last night, Jerome Boots Ennis had his homecoming. He stopped David Avanesian in the fifth. Well, not really. At the end of the fifth round, Avanesian went to the corner. The doctor called it off. And so we're asking this question. But before we jump into that, Trill, we're going to take a look at what Turkey Al-Sheikh tweeted, which was, I just reached out to boxer Jerron Ennis and Eddie Hearn to congratulate him on his win. And I'd love to see Ennis in fight with Crawford at weight 154 soon. So the reason why we're asking this question is because Turkey Al-Sheikh now seems to be interested in making Ennis Crawford at 154. Trill Dollar Bill, do you think Crawford should be worried about what he saw from Jerron Boots Ennis?
No, I don't think with Boots. I actually don't think that is a good route for Boots. I wanted him to do something else. But shout out to Boots in his victory last night. Rest in peace to my brother, G. G, please let me hold this because I got to get in my conspiracy G bag.
We got a conspiracy G coming, all right.
Yeah, I do. That stoppage looked all so funny to me. It really did. It looked really funny to me. It was like Eddie was like, all right, he did enough. It's not like you can win the fight. I'll throw you a couple more dollars, just to sell the point of him stopping him quicker than Terence Crawford did. It just seemed weird. Even the shot that landed, that knocked him down, that seemed like it was a good shot, but not enough because he still tried to come back after he was, so it didn't seem like he was hurt. So that stoppage just seemed weird in the corner. So I just got to jump in my conspiracy, but I don't even. And then the fact saying that now you want him to fight Terence Crawford when there's a chance that Boots is talented enough that he can be undisputed at 147. I don't see nobody that's holding the title at 147 that can beat him. I think that he beats everybody with a belt at 147. Why not try to do that? Why not try to unify? Why not try to be undisputed at 147 before you try to go up another weight class to fight Terence Crawford? Won't you try to submit your own legacy? But that's just me.
Nah, I think those are some great points. Now, since we started doing this show, all I do is give my opinion on things based on knowledge of the sport, based on knowledge in life, and just based on what I know. People take things personally and they get mad at me. So, for example, I've been labeled a Terence Bud Crawford hater. Why? Simply because I pointed out he was pricing himself out of the game, wanting to have a 50-50 split with Earl or 60-40 split in his favor with Earl Spence when he didn't have any leverage. I suggested that he signed a 3-fight deal with PBC, beat Earl Spence, become the man, and then take over his own career, which he did. He signed a deal with PBC to fight Earl Spence, where Earl Spence was the A side and got the higher percentage. Then he was going to have a rematch with Earl Spence, and he was potentially going to have another fight on PBC. But the deal got terminated because Earl Spence didn't want the rematch. But what ended up happening? TC became the A side in comparison to Earl Spence. Now, when it comes to TC, I will admit this. I was wrong about TC. But the way I was assessing TC was based on the level of competition I saw him in the ring with. That's because, of course, Bob Arum didn't have the welterweights that PBC had with the name recognition. So he was fighting guys like Amir Khan, who I've seen knocked out numerous times. Kell Brook, who we knew his better days were behind him. He was fighting also like Kavalauskas, someone who didn't really have any marquee opponents on his resume. So once we got to see Bud in there with Earl, we got to see what he was made of because he was forced to elevate his game and he shined. Now, why that is important is because we're going to turn our attention over to Eddie Hearn now. Like Trill said, all I did was point out Eddie makes bad business decisions. People say to me, oh, well, this and that. When I pointed out how the zone was losing money and how Eddie was making bad decisions for the zone, people told me, you got to take a loss before you could be a boss. Well, what ended up happening? He had to go back to pay-per-view, and now he's charging subscriptions plus pay-per-view, which totals more than having a cable subscription and paying for pay-per-view, the old method. Here's what I'm telling you. Oh, but then people say, oh, well, Matchroom's doing well. They were about to sell Matchroom. You can go look. So I don't know how well they're doing, but I'm not going to get into all that. What I want to focus on is Eddie Hearn not valuing the American fighters. As Trill pointed out, why not have Jerron Boots Ennis clean out 147? Why not have Jerron Boots Ennis become undisputed at 147? Remember, Terence Bud Crawford was undisputed at 140 before he became undisputed at 147 and moved up to 154. Eddie Hearn is signing these American fighters, even someone like Subriel Matias, and he's throwing them in the hardest fights possible immediately, right out of the back. But he'll take someone like Fisher, the heavyweight Fisher, and throw him in there with Babbage. Liam Perot beat Subriel Matias, and now he's talking about Liam Perot fighting Kambosos in Australia, which is a gimme. Kambosos just got stopped by Loma. So why give Perot a showcase fight in Australia, which is really a showcase because he's putting him in there with a guy who was just stopped. But when it came to Subriel, he put him in there with a dangerous guy who we all know is serious and underrated in terms of how the world saw him. So now you look at what he's doing with Jerron Boots Ennis. He wants Jerron to move up in weight to fight Terence Bud Crawford next. And what happens if Bud cooks him? His career is over. He's done. He's finished when he could have maximized his talent. Because here's the thing. Do I think Bud Crawford should be worried about Jerron Boots Ennis? Not right now. Jerron still needs work. He still needs to be in there with better fighters who are going to push him. He hasn't been in one competitive fight. Now you want to put him in a fight where he's going to have to go through something. Reminds me of Fernando Vargas, Tito Trinidad. Fernando Vargas was a damn good fighter, talented fighter, up-and-coming fighter. Tito said it. He's a baby. They're putting him in there too soon with me. He gave Tito a hell of a fight, but he lost. And that set up the trajectory of his career where he never really recovered. I think Jerron Boots Ennis fighting TC's too soon. People are going to say, oh, we want to see the best fight the best. You really don't, because you switch it up when it's a fighter you like. Anyone who wants to see Ennis rushed in the ring with TC doesn't care about his career. And Eddie Hearn doesn't value American fighters. That's why he rushes them to get beat. And Shakur, you better watch out because you might be next.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I'm the Commissioner Trill Dollar Bill. It's my brother, Hayden. It's LLG for life. We're the Boxer Bros, and we just getting started.